राम जी अग्रवाल और महामंत्री श्री संजीव कुमार जी बंसल और बेंगलोर से हमारे अध्यक्ष महोदय बेंगलोर चैप्टर के आईवीएफ के श्री बाबूलाल जी मेहता और महासचिव श्री प्रशांत जी सिंह जी और आप सभी गणमान्य उपस्थित सदस्यों का हार्दिक स्वागत अभिनंदन।
ललित जी हमारे साथ मिथिलेश जी भी जुड़ी हुई हैं यूपी से।
जी जी बहुत बहुत हार्दिक स्वागत अभिनंदन है सर।
बहुत ही जुझारू महिला हैं ये, आपके वहाँ की महिला अध्यक्ष हैं।
जी सर, स्वागत अभिनंदन जी। अब मैं आमंत्रित करूंगा हमारे बीच में हमारे बेंगलोर चैप्टर के अध्यक्ष श्री बाबू भाई मेहता को। आप सभी का स्वागत करें और कार्यक्रम की औपचारिक शुरुआत करें। इससे पहले हम सभी अपने मन में अपने इष्ट भगवंत का स्मरण करके इस कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत करते हैं और आमंत्रित करूंगा बाबू भाई मेहता, बेंगलोर चैप्टर के अध्यक्ष।
सभी को नमस्कार। आवाज आ रही है बरोबर?
सभी
को नमस्कार।
आवाज आ रही है? करना है, एक मोबाइल को म्यूट करना पड़ेगा।
ललित जी आवाज आ रही है?
आ रही है, हाँ अब आ रही है सर। यस जी बाबूलाल साहब।
वो साड़ू नहीं तो
शुरू कीजिए बाबूलाल साहब, शुरू कीजिए। आवाज आ रही है आपकी?
सभी को नमस्कार। आवाज आ रही है क्या?
आ रही है सर। सर आ रही, चालू रखिए आप।
सभी को नमस्कार। आवाज आ रही है? सर जी आवाज आ रही है? सर जी आवाज आ रही है? हेलो, हाँ आवाज आ रही है?
आवाज आ रही है सर, इसको हो रहा है।
आ रही है सर, आ रही है। बाबूलाल साहब बोलिए।
हेलो
जी बोलिए सर, बोलिए।
हाँ सभी को नमस्कार। इंटरनेशनल वैश्य फेडरेशन बेंगलुरु चैप्टर द्वारा आयोजित इस कार्यक्रम में आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत है। आज का टॉपिक है मैनेजिंग एंड हेल्थ इन पेंडेमिक सिचुएशन। इसके लिए आज इस जूम मीटिंग में पधारे हुए जाने माने स्पीकर श्री खुशहाल जी जैन, सफल उद्यमी एवं स्टार्टअप सलाहकार एवं श्री सुधांशु जी गोस्वामी जी, जाने माने लाइफ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन कोच, इनका मैं आईवीएफ की तरफ से एवं आप सभी की तरफ से हार्दिक हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। हमें ये सेमिनार हॉल में लेना था, मगर बढ़ती हुई कोरोना की रफ्तार ने हम ये सेमिनार जूम मीटिंग द्वारा ले रहे हैं। हमारे इंटरनेशनल वैश्य फेडरेशन के कर्नाटक के अध्यक्ष श्री बिपिन राम जी अग्रवाल एवं सभी सदस्य, लेडीज विंग, यूथ विंग के सभी सदस्यों का भी मैं यहाँ पे स्वागत करता हूँ और आगे के कार्यक्रम के सूत्र संचालन के लिए इस कार्यक्रम के संयोजक श्री ललित जी डाकलिया को विनंती करता हूँ। धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर, आपके संक्षिप्त उद्बोधन के लिए सभी का स्वागत किया आपने। अब मैं आमंत्रित करूंगा बिना टाइम वेस्ट किए मैं आपसे इंट्रोडक्शन भी कराऊंगा और अभी आमंत्रित करूंगा हमारे आज के लाइफ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन कोच श्री सुधांशु जी गोस्वामी जी को। He is a life transformation coach and founder of the Life Abundance Gurukul. His mission is to help 1 million people fast track on success and abundance in all areas of their life through inner transformation. He is a mechanical engineer, an MBA, an Ashtanga Yoga practitioner, a certified Reiki master, an astrologer, and a Vastu consultant. Born in a family of teachers, he is a firm believer in the purity of karma and service to the community. जी सुधांशु जी, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत, अभिनंदन है जी। ओवर टू यू सुधांशु जी। अभी मैं आपसे गुजारिश करूंगा कि आज हमारे जितने भी व्यूअर्स हैं जूम मीटिंग पे और फेसबुक पे, काफी फेसबुक पेजेस पे लाइव जा रहा है ये कार्यक्रम देश विदेश में। मैं आपसे गुजारिश करूंगा, आप कृपया हम सभी को इस कोरोना पेंडेमिक में किस तरह से हम अपने बिजनेस को ऊंचाइयों पे लेके जाके अपने हेल्थ की सुरक्षा करते हुए ले जा सके, जी कृपया सभी का मार्गदर्शन कीजिए। सुधांशु जी।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और I acknowledge and bow to the divinity within all of you. And I welcome all of you who are committed to do whatever it takes to live a wholesome and a healthy life. I am really grateful and I thank you for making me a part of this great event and our journey of transformation. So, kindly allow me to start with a question. I know we all want to be healthy, and we also know what is to be done to remain healthy. We know the how and the what of it. How to remain healthy and what to be done to remain healthy. We all know about it. We are all intelligent beings. But tell me one thing. How many of us are able to actually do whatever it is to be done to remain healthy? It means having a healthy routine, doing physical exercises, and most importantly, a control on what goes inside our mouth. Now, you see, it is becoming a bit more difficult to answer. We all know what it requires to be healthy. But then, why are many of us not doing it? I'm sure most of you know that what stops you from following a disciplined daily healthy routine. You all know about your inner voices. But our mind is very cunning. It always tries to find a reason to justify our action. We basically don't want to move out of our comfort zone. But our mind would not let us accept that. So it always tries to find an external justification or a reason to justify our lethargy and our inaction. And when this pandemic started, our mind found one more reason. Now, I don't say it's true that we all are grappling with this impact of this global pandemic. Almost everyone, whether he is a daily wage earner or a business owner or a salaried person, has been adversely affected by this pandemic. And especially for businesses, it's a great testing time because losing money and business is a big and a real fear. But think of it. Should we allow this situation to add one more inner voice, one more internal justification based out of fear for damaging our emotional, our mental, and our physical health? Rather, it is all the more important in these turbulent times to maintain our health in peak condition. So this alone will give us the inner strength to successfully tide over this turbulent time of the pandemic. So my talk is not to tell you how you should keep healthy. You already know it very well. I'll be just wasting my time on this. My talk will also not be on what is stopping you from following a healthy routine. You all know about the how and what. My purpose to be here is that when I leave after 30 minutes, I should be able to kindle a spark of transformation within your heart and mind. My talk should be able to inspire and ignite the fire of why should you take more care about your health during this pandemic. Only when your why becomes your inspiration to maintain a good health, a transformation can happen within you. So I want you all to write down in the comments below, why should you remain mentally, emotionally, and physically healthy, especially during this pandemic, despite businesses being affected. You can allow me to help you by giving you two reasons why you should take care of your health in these trying times. The first reason is that you are valuable, not only for yourself, but for the society and for the country at large. Let's not forget that business owners are the strongest hands of divinity, because firstly, in the process of establishing a business, your patience is tried and tested. You have to overpower so many of your inner voices and limitations. And establishing a business amidst so many obstacles is a victory, and it makes you a warrior. And when you emerge victorious after fighting so many inner and outer battles to establish a business, you become valuable. And that makes the business owners so special. The second reason is that every business is a service to humanity, because it caters to the needs of humanity. You are the people with a mission. You are the most precious gift of divinity given to humanity. You are valuable because what you contribute to the world is valuable. So when you have been a warrior till now, you cannot let these calamities, whether it is natural or man-made, overpower your fighting spirit. Rather, these external events teach us to make self-improvements and adapt to the new situations. At a personal level, when we grapple with our day-to-day problems and overcome them and come out victorious, we end up becoming a better version of ourselves. And at the level of business, we overcome the problems by bringing improvements in the quality of business. It's an opportunity to adapt to new ways of business and service to humanity. And only those who refuse to adapt will get extinct. Survival of the fittest is at the core of universal evolution. It's the law of the universe. And for those who fear, let us understand that fear is a function of our limitedness, our feeling of separation. It's a feeling of our ahankar or our ego mind. Our ahankar is one which resists any change. When a storm comes, only those trees are uprooted which resist to bow down, and they stand rigid and straight. And those trees which can bend down and let the storm pass over, they are surviving. They survive to live. Same is with our businesses. To survive, you have to continuously adapt and motivate and innovate. Otherwise, even big companies like Kodak can get wiped away in the storm of time. So fear is only for those who are rigid and they refuse to change and refuse to adapt to new circumstances. Maharshi Patanjali says, avidya asmita rag dvesha abhinivesha klesha. He says the only cause of pain and suffering in human life are, first is avidya, which means ignorance about our true self. Second is asmita, which is identifying with our ego consciousness, that I am separate from others. The third is raga, which means attachment with material things. The fourth is dvesha, which is the other side of the coin, which is aversion or disliking of certain things. And lastly, abhinivesha is our deep-seated anxiety or fear. Maharshi says there is not a sixth thing apart from these five things which are the cause of all pain and suffering in human life. So making fear and anxiety as an excuse to spoil our emotional and physical health is foolishness and will only bring more pain and suffering to us. Eventually, we are the creators of our own destiny. Your life is the sum result of the choices you make, both consciously and unconsciously. If you can just control the process of choosing, you can take control of all aspects of your life. And there are only two constant truths when it comes to your life. The first is everything that happens to us in life is a result of our choices we make. We choose whether to go to the morning walk or to the gym, or we do not go. Both are choices. Whether we hit the snooze button on the alarm clock early morning, or we choose to get up at the first alarm and go to the gym or walk, both are choices, and you know the consequences of both these choices. The second is the choices you make today will impact your life tomorrow. In fact, you are the only problem you will ever have, and you are the only solution. Change is inevitable. Personal health is always a personal choice. So, if you encounter any problem in life, it is you alone who is the solution to that problem. No one else can be blamed for that. But despite knowing this simple fact, what is it that pushes us back into the state of helplessness? Why we just keep on reacting to every situation of life on autopilot, blaming our circumstances, blaming those around us, and even blaming pandemics for the sufferings in our life? Now, let us go a bit deeper into the meaning of what Maharshi Patanjali has said. See, what does the word creator of destiny imply? It implies that we are the same divine consciousness which has created this universe. And once this awareness and the feeling of being a creator sets in our mind, deep inside us, we are able to take 100% responsibility for everything that happens to us. It then implies that we alone have a solution to every problem of ours. We then know that we have a choice to respond to every situation in our life. And with every choice that we make, or for every choice that we do not make, we are responsible for creating our future. Think for a moment. Are you your physical body? I have heard so many people say, this is my body, I can do anything I like with this. But don't you think this is foolishness? You are not your body. You are not your mind. You are not your thoughts. This body belongs to you. This mind belongs to you. These thoughts belong to you. You were there much before you got this body in this life, in this Janma. And you will still be there when this body no longer remains. So when you know your true nature, you get the power to control your mind and your thoughts. You then realize that this body and this mind is a gift given to you in this life. So it becomes your karmic responsibility to take good care of your body and your mind. It's your duty to keep it healthy. But when we are ignorant about our true limitless nature and under the influence of asmita or our ego self or ahankara, we become fearful and we allow fear to control our mind. Bhagwan Shri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Rag Dvesh Viyuktastu Vishyani Indriyas Charan Atma Vashyar Videyatma Prasadam Adigachati. That means one who controls the mind and is free from raga and dvesha, that is the attachment and aversion, he attains the grace of God even while using the objects of the senses. So kindly allow me to look at our health issue from a holistic perspective. So let's talk about three things. First is, what is the most important goal in your life? Second, what prevents you from seeing the linkage between your life goal and your health goal? And thirdly, what happens when you are able to see the bigger picture of your true self when you combine your health with your life goal? So, without wasting time, let us come to the subject. What is your most important goal in life? Since most of you are business owners, so obviously, for many of you, the ultimate end goal of all that you are doing is to be wealthy and abundant. Till this point, it's all fine. This is perfectly fine. You have a fixed destination on the Google map of your life, and you are all set for the drive. The problem starts when we are so fixated on our goal that we start neglecting some of the other areas of our life. We will compensate for those areas of life when we have enough wealth. We start neglecting our health. We start neglecting our relationships with our near and dear ones. How many of you agree that passion is an absolute requirement to achieve your goals? But over passion kills. Speed is good, but over speed kills. The problem starts when we are driving with so much of a hurry to reach our destination that we forget to refuel our car. No wonder many of the cars, they do not manage to reach the destination. And those who barely to the destination, they end up in such a bad state, physically and mentally challenged and diseased. And then when they look back on their journey, they ask themselves, was this journey worth taking at all? But it's too late by then to reverse the damage. How many of you have seen a bumblebee, our bee, what does it do? It moves from one flower to another flower, collecting nectar, and then deposits the nectar in the beehive. It spends the entire life from morning till night collecting honey for the queen bee. How many of you realize our lives are no different? If you were to ask that honeybee, what is your purpose in life? What do you think that honeybee will say? It would say, obviously, my purpose in life is to collect honey. But do you know what it does when it moves from one flower to another flower? It helps in pollination. It unknowingly becomes a hand of divinity to pollinate flowers which turn into fruits. The bee thinks that collecting honey is the purpose of its life. It does not know that it is unknowingly serving a much bigger purpose of. My point here, with great love and respect for you, is this: that you as business owners may think your purpose of life as creation of wealth for the shareholders and for yourselves. But what if you may unknowingly be the agents of divinity serving a much bigger purpose in the service of humanity? And if your purpose is so much bigger, is it not your karmic responsibility to nurture and nourish this vehicle, which is your physical body and your mind, and keep it healthy? When you realize that your true purpose, you realize your why, it is then that you realize your true value in the bigger scheme of the universe. It is then you get inspired to keep yourself emotionally and mentally healthy. When you are working for a cause and a mission, you are no more focused on making money alone. Money and wealth then comes as a byproduct. When when Dhirubhai, he made it his mission to provide every Indian good quality polyester cloth at affordable prices, which was being earlier imported. When Dhirubhai made it his mission to provide every Indian a phone call, which should be cheaper than a postcard, it was then that great businesses were born. And then you no longer remain an individual. Your health then becomes more important for the society and for the nation that you serve. More than yourself, your health becomes important for the millions of people who depend upon you for their well-being. So, what did we learn from all this? The key is to control your mind, to control your health. Don't let fear control your mind. Do you know, in the English language, we often call mind. What does the word mind mean? It means only mind. There is no other word in English language for mind. But in our ancient scriptures, mind is described as constituting of man, buddhi, chit, and ahankar. Your manas or man is the controller of your senses. Your chit is the storehouse of your past memories. Your ahankara is the ego consciousness. That is a feeling of separation from everything else. And buddhi is the intelligence which has the power to discriminate between what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong. So, on the one side, your manas is connected with your 5 jnanendriyas and the 5 karmendriyas. So, when you surrender to your sense organs, when you surrender to your taste buds, or you surrender to your worldly attraction, your mind becomes outwardly oriented. Your manas gets disconnected from the buddhi and aligns itself with your chit and ahankara to get into raga, dvesha. It gets into hatred or anger and jealousy and greed. It becomes fearful. Mind is your manomaya kosh, or the mental body, which controls your prana or the pranamaya kosh, and it also controls your physical body and the annamaya kosh. And when you are not able to control your mind, you damage your emotional body, your energy body, and your physical body. So then, how can we control our mind? I think we all grapple with this question. How do we control our mind, and especially during this pandemic? But let me tell you, it's very simple. See, on the downward side, if you see, your mind is attached with senses. But on the top side, if you see, your mind along with buddhi is connected with divine consciousness also. So, align your man or manas with buddhi and vivek. Listen to the divine intelligence within you, which alone has the power to guide you and discriminate between what is right and wrong. I think, let me give you a very practical example of how it works, because this may be looking very difficult to understand. So let us take, suppose you like sweets, but the doctor has advised you not to take sweets as you are taking medicine for sugar control. Now, you go to a party and a very big bowl of delicious hot gulab jamuns, they come on the table. Now, when your mind or man, ahankar and chit, they gang together, they throw your buddhi to the sideline. You have heard buddhi brushed. Buddhi is not brushed, but our man, chitta and ahankar, they manage to shut down our buddhi in a very dark room from where we cannot listen to the voice of buddhi. So when man, chit and ahankar attach themselves with the senses, and in this case, your sense of taste, your mouth starts watering, your mind is under the influence of raga or attachment to the gulab jamun, you forget what Maharshi Patanjali told about the harmful effects of raga and dvesha. Your chit, it brings in sweet memories from the past when you had gulab jamuns earlier and the taste of it comes back to you. Now, what is the role of ahankara in this? Who likes the gulab jamun? Answer this. Who likes the gulab jamun? I. It is this I. This is the ahankar or the feeling of separatedness. So now, when you surrender to your senses, you end up eating not one but 10 gulab jamuns. And what is the outcome? Your blood sugar level shoots up, ending in more pain and suffering. Now, take the same scenario, but a different setting. When you bypass your ego and you connect your mind with your true self or your divine self, which is the divine consciousness, you realize the truth that you are not your mind. You are not your senses. The body and mind is yours. You now have the power to control your mind. Your mind now sees the gulab jamun. Your sense of taste gets activated, but you bypass your ego self and you connect with your true divine self. Then your buddhi or your intelligence gets activated. And your buddhi or intelligence has the power to discriminate between what is right and what is wrong for you. And when buddhi becomes the boss, it orders your mind that these gulab jamuns are not good for your health. And the mind, it has no other choice but to listen to buddhi. Then what is the outcome? You not only make a right choice, you do a right karma whose result would be right. And by doing this, you also increase your self-esteem. You feel victorious at overcoming your temptation. You feel happy at overpowering your senses. You see, the same situation, but two scenarios. When you allow your mind to become a slave of your senses, you end up in pain and suffering. When you align your divine self and listen to your buddhi or your intellect, the mind takes the direction from buddhi and you end up making the right choices. And if you want to align with your divine consciousness, it comes with surrender and with devotion to the divine. When you align your Vijnanmaya Kosh with your Anandmaya Kosh, that is the feeling of true bliss and joy. You know, being happy without a reason. You can then be happy no matter what the external circumstances in life are. Pandemic or no pandemic, you are no longer affected. So let us align ourselves with our higher consciousness. And I will request you to close your eyes. Kindly, all of you can close your eyes. Take a deep breath and exhale slowly. Let your body sink in. Let your body sink into the chair or wherever you are sitting. Get comfortable. Nothing else matters right now. Everything is okay. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Simply feel your body and listen. Feel your natural breath. Allow your body to become heavy. Feel your body getting heavy and sinking into the earth. Your bones are getting heavy and sinking. Bring your awareness to your legs. Relax your legs. Relax your thighs. Your lower abdomen. Relax your stomach and your lower back. Relax your chest and your upper back. Relax your shoulders, your arms, your ankles. Relax your lower arms, your wrist, your palms and your fingers. Relax your neck, your face, your lips, your nose, both the ears. Relax your eyes, your forehead, your crown, and relax the back of the head. And with every breath, you are going deeper and deeper into relaxation. Just look at your imperfectness. You may be having less than perfect health or wealth. It's okay. Visualize the person you want to be, the state of health you want to be in, the amount of wealth you want to have along with a good health. It's not just about you. It's about the millions of lives that you would be touching, the millions of lives that you would be serving. The ultimate aim of every business is to serve the people, to provide them what they need. And it's the highest form of service. And you have been chosen by divinity to carry out divinity's work in this universe. And by doing this, you are going to be the role model and an inspiration to your family, to your society, to your country, and to the world at large. You are valuable to humanity. So your health is not just important for you alone. It's important for a much bigger purpose. It's important to achieve the purpose of your life. It's important for the millions of people whom you serve. Feel the presence of divinity in every cell of your body, pulsating, throbbing in every cell of your body. You are a divine being, and your journey on earth in this life is to serve a much bigger purpose. And let this feeling be a permanent part of your memory from now on. Keep this feeling in every moment of your life from now on. Take a deep breath. A deep breath in and a deep breath out. And slowly open your eyes. So take care of health, because more than you, your health is important for your family, for the society, for the country, and for the entire humanity at large. I thank you for being here, and I thank and bow before the divinity within each one of you. May God bless us all with health, wealth, and abundance in all areas of our life. Thank you.
थैंक यू सो मच सर सुधांशु जी। आपने कोरोना के इस नेगेटिव माहौल में एकदम जो पॉजिटिविटी भर दी है, वास्तव में कमाल का मेडिटेशन कराया आपने। और आपने जैसे बताया कि बिजनेस के बीच बीच में हमें किस तरह से ब्रेक लेके बिजनेस के बीच बीच में किस तरह से हमें ब्रेक लेके अपने आप को रिलैक्स करना है। कमाल का सर, कमाल का। और इसकी ताकत को मैंने अभी पर्सनली फील किया है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। अभी 2 मिनट का बीच में ब्रेक लेके मैं आमंत्रित करूंगा हमारे आईवीएफ के कर्नाटका स्टेट के महासचिव श्री संजीव बंसल जी, जो कि हमारे इंडिया यूएई कॉन्क्लेव जो अभी रिसेंटली संपन्न हुआ है दुबई में, वहाँ पे भी आप होके आए हैं। इंडिया की तरफ से आपने रिप्रेजेंटेशन दिया है और हेल्प इंडिया फाउंडेशन यूएई के आप इंचार्ज भी हैं, और आपको अभी इंस्पायरिंग लीडर अवार्ड, एक बार फिर दोहराना चाहूंगा, अभी रिसेंटली आपको इंस्पायरिंग लीडर अवार्ड भी अवार्ड से नवाजा गया है यूएई में, दुबई में, इंडिया यूएई कॉन्क्लेव में। सर आपको बहुत बहुत बधाइयाँ, शुभकामनाएं आपके भविष्य के लिए। अब मैं आमंत्रित करूंगा आपको, आप बहुत ही संक्षिप्त में बीच में ब्रेक के हिसाब से आप सभी को संबोधित करें। हमारे बीच में विपिन राज जी, हमारे अध्यक्ष महोदय विपिन राज जी अग्रवाल भी मौजूद है। जी जी संजीव जी।
हाँ, थैंक यू ललित जी। सबसे पहले सभी को प्रणाम और बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपकी शुभकामनाएं बधाई के लिए। बाबूराम मेहता जी को, बाबू भाई मेहता जी को इस सुंदर जो है आपके जो आज का कार्यक्रम है इसको ऑर्गेनाइज करने के लिए, विशांत सिंह जी को। और आज हमने अभी सुना, जो है बहुत अच्छा लगा। मेडिटेशन भी बहुत ही जो है मतलब एक अपने आप को रिवर्टलाइज करने के लिए बहुत मतलब एक जरूरी है आज के पल में। और दोबारा से जो कोरोना है वो हमें फिर जो है परेशान कर रहा है, तो ऐसा सेशन बहुत जरूरी था। और मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि जो मुझे सम्मान मिला है यूएई में, वो मेरा सम्मान नहीं, वो सब आप लोगों का सम्मान है। वो पूरा पूरा जो आईवीएफ कर्नाटका है उसका सम्मान है, और उसमें जो भी लोग सम्मिलित हैं, आप सब लोगों के बिहाफ पर मैंने उसको रिसीव किया है। और ये जो कॉन्क्लेव हुआ था वहां पर जो सिंधी समाज है बहुत ही स्ट्रांग है, तो उन्होंने ऑर्गेनाइज किया था टू स्ट्रेंथन द टाइज बिटवीन यूएई एंड इंडिया। जो इंडिया में बिजनेसमैन हैं उनको प्रमोट करने के लिए, और उनसे क्या क्या अपॉर्चुनिटीज एक दूसरे से ले सकते हैं और अपने व्यापार में उस चीज को लाभान्वित कर सकते हैं। तो उसमें एक 2 घंटे का सेमिनार था, एक कॉन्क्लेव था, जिसमें काफी लोग जो है जो यूएई में हैं, आपके दुबई में जो बिजनेसमैन हैं वो लोग आए थे वहां पर, और कुछ इंडियंस भी थे। तो उन्होंने आपस में वार्ता करी और ये किया कि भाई हम किस तरह का व्यापार कर सकते हैं दूसरे देशों में, एक दूसरे को सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं। तो मुझे भी बहुत सीखने को मिला। और एक हम अगली बार हमने प्लान किया है कि हम खुद करेंगे यहाँ पर उनके साथ मिलकर, जिसमें कि इंडिया से एक डेलीगेशन लेके जाएंगे 40-50 लोगों का, और फिर वहां पर आपस में वार्ता होगी। बस यही है ललित जी मेरी तरफ से। आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, और विपिन राम जी को भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जो मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटी दी मुझे वहां जाने के लिए। और बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद सर, धन्यवाद जी। हमारे बीच में महिला विंग के अध्यक्ष रितु जी अग्रवाल भी उपस्थित हैं, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। अभी बहुत हमारे अध्यक्ष महोदय बेंगलोर चैप्टर के अध्यक्ष बहुत प्रभावित हुए हैं, जो कि सोलापुर में भूतपूर्व पार्षद भी, एक्स मेयर भी रह चुके हैं, और हमारे प्रेस्टिजियस स्वामित्व ग्रुप के चेयरमैन भी हैं। बहुत प्रभावित हुए हैं अभी सुधांशु जी के मेडिटेशन से। जी धन्यवाद सर। अभी मैं आपको एक बहुत ही अच्छे मोटिवेशनल स्पीकर हमारे उनसे परिचय कराना चाहूंगा। He is a serial entrepreneur and fast track startup specialist, founder and CEO of Amplify Mastermind LLP, founder of Startup Success Hub. He is having more than 25 years of experience in entrepreneurship, recipient of 2 International Hall of Fame awards, organized training sessions for more than 10,000 startups and entrepreneurs, manage a tribe of entrepreneur global network group of 30,000 plus members. हमारा बहुत सौभाग्य है कि कुशाल जी जैन आज हमारे बीच उपस्थित हैं, और अगले सेशन में वो हमें संबोधित करेंगे। मैं आमंत्रित करूंगा श्री कुशाल जी जैन। जी सर।
थैंक यू रवि जी, आपका इंट्रोडक्शन करने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और मुझे इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे इनवाइट करने के लिए। मैं अभी आपको स्क्रीन शेयर से स्टार्ट कर लेता हूँ सेशन। Okay, so first I want to thank the president of IVF Bangalore chapter and then Honorary Secretary Prashant Singhi ji, and then Lalit ji, Datia ji. Thank you for inviting us to give our sharing our knowledge to the world. So thank you. So now we come to look at how to manage business in this pandemic. So I'll be sharing a little very brief because we have limited time. So as I share about more information, I want you to make a note also if possible. So as already Lalit ji has already introduced, this is about but I'm on a mission also to help 100,000 dreamers to launch their successful and sustainable startup by 2025. So I'm working on towards that. Okay, these are the training I used to do offline. Now from last 1 year, I'm doing online. So let's get into the fast track growth. That is, I'm going to talk about three aspects which is really required at any given point of time, especially in pandemic. So first is the clarity, second comes competent, and third is consistent. So as I'm sharing about this, we are entrepreneurs, we are business owners. Some are maybe from retail, wholesale, manufacturer, distributor, from all aspects, all business owners. So first of all, I want you to pack your bag because as an entrepreneur, it's not an easy work to do or as easy thing to go. And the second thing is we might be from first generation, second generation, third generation in this business. Okay, so first of all, you need to see like what is that you are doing in this contribution to the world is like creating an economic growth. So really, I want to acknowledge and thank each and everyone who is watching this video and maybe who will watch this video at later stage as well. So first, let us get into the aspect of how we can manage the business in this pandemic by looking at what are the aspects we can think about or introspect ourselves so that we can grow faster level. Okay. So when it comes to clarity, now you might put, I would ask you to ask yourself is why have you chosen the business? Why you have chosen maybe retail business, wholesale, distributor, manufacturing? So there was some purpose, there was some insight, it got ignite for you to start something, right, on your own. Or maybe you got ignited saying, okay, my parents, my grandparents, or they would have started the business, let me take this business forward. So as you are aware, so you would have seen why you have started this business. So first is let's introspect. In case if you still have need more clarity, you can ask yourself and then get connected to that because we are in the business from last maybe 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year, 20 year, 30 years. We are so much involved in the business, we forget why we started this business also, right? So second is vision and mission. So how many of you?
विशाल जी एक सेकंड इंटरप्ट करूंगा, सॉरी फॉर द इंटरप्शन। थोड़ा सा माइक में से थोड़ा सा डिस्टरबेंस आ रहा है, थोड़ा अगर माइक को आप दूर रखेंगे तो क्लियरिटी आएगी। सॉरी।
अभी कैसे आ रहा है आवाज?
जी ठीक है अभी।
ओके, तो थैंक यू। Abhi, what I'm asking about is vision and mission. So how many of you are aware what is your vision, what is the mission you have created while starting a business, right? So either if you are aware about it, it's good. If not, I would like you to create a vision and mission. That is the most important for any business. Because if you don't have vision, what you want to do about the business in next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line, we don't know where we are heading. So example is if you want to reach a Delhi, right? And if you get into any bus, you reach a Delhi you want. So you need to identify which vehicle will take you to Delhi. So that is the reason why mission and vision both are important in any business. What comes with goals? Hello, yeah. Okay, so when I talk about goals, okay, there are different goals. Whether it can be personal goal, it can be financial goal, it can be business goal, it can be social goal. So you can identify in all the areas whether you have a goal. So what is that you want to grow in your business? What do you want to grow at a personal level? What do you want to grow at a business level, financial level, investment level, society level? What do you want to contribute back to the society? If you have a goal for each and every aspect, So what happens is it should be holistic goal. What I talk about, it is not that only business goals. Okay, I want to do 10 crore or 100 crore business in this year. That is my goal. That's it. After that, nothing. Okay, so what I'm talking about is not about only business growth. It should be also personal growth. Okay, now when I talk about personal growth, how much are you growing in learning yourself? Okay, how much you are investing for your own self in terms of enhancing your knowledge. So likewise, have a goal in different aspects required. Next is current status. Now, if you see, most of us right now, we already have survived the pandemic. We have already survived so many downfalls. Okay, I can say what 2000 crash, 2008 crash. Likewise, okay, we have been gone through all these things, and this is we are in the mid of pandemic. Already, we are in the middle. I'm talking about second wave we are going through right now. Okay, but if you see from last 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, if you're doing a business, okay, you didn't have time for yourself to rethink about your business, whether you want to change or bring something which could take your business to the next level. You have never thought of. If you see this current status, what you have right now, you have ample time for yourself to restructure your business, okay, to make more profit, to make a new jump in a couple of years coming in. So this is a right time for you to structure, bring out new product, bring out new ideas, innovate something, create some creativity. And this pandemic, you can, within this pandemic, you can create some miracle. That is what I would say. Okay. And next comes is demography. You also look at what is the demography or a geography you are serving, whether you are serving a particular locality, particular area, particular city, particular state. Now, how about going global? Okay, there might be some product or services which might require at international level, which might require other part of the country. So you look at how can you bring that or get into the business of where you can reach out to the maximum. And this is the right time for you to articulate, okay, which market is good for your product or service. So I would recommend this, if you make all these notes, okay, it would be give more clarity for your business to where to head in the next level. So next we'll go to the competent part. What is competent? What I talk about is upgrade. Now we always keep upgrading our systems. We keep upgrading our mobile, right? We keep upgrading some tools required, software requires, but mostly we don't upgrade ourselves. Okay, and we don't upgrade our laborers, our employees working with us. So this is actually, when you want to be a competent in the market, okay, you need to upgrade. There are so many courses available, so many training programs happening. I recommend everyone is to, based on your business, based on what you want to achieve in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I want you to upgrade yourself by learning new knowledge, upgrading yourself to be so competent that you can win the world. So that is what I would say. Next is new skill. Now, as an example, a lot of people we think, okay, acquiring new skill is always a challenge. Okay, and say example, normally for anyone want to go for a skating, okay, learning a skating. What age we will do? Maybe 5 years, 10 years, right? Or maybe maximum is 12 years, not more than that, because skating is all about balancing and on wheeling part, okay? But if we have a guts to do, okay, as I did around 6 years back, was at the age of 36, I went for learning skating. I was doing skating with 5-year boy, 7-year boy, 8-year boy, 10-year boy, along with them. I was doing the skating in Kantiva Stadium. Okay, so I was learning new things. So acquiring new skill doesn't require any age. You can acquire any time. You want to learn about robotics, you can learn. You want to learn about the technology, you can learn. So how much time it requires? 1 hour, 2 hours a day. If you start giving, you can acquire a new knowledge and new skills. That's what I would recommend. Next is finance management. So most of us doing the finance management, if you talk about, everyone are good at it, okay? But sometimes we are always dependent on some auditor, some external person to come out with some what are the profit and loss, what is income, what is outgoing money, what is the balance sheet. So I recommend here in terms of the finance management is to you should be competent enough to learn about it. That is one. Second thing is wherever you require the financial planner as advisors, you can consult, you can take hire them. But still you should be aware what goes in. So finance management also is a learnable skill. It's just required for any business. It was an example about one of my friends who started a multi-cuisine restaurant in 2011, and there were a couple of things, okay, and they started a multi-cuisine restaurant. I'm talking about JP Nagar 7th phase in Bangalore, and it was a good place, main road, and they said, why not we come out with some good theme, and they came out with aqua theme. Okay, aqua is they have a fish in the ground on the floor. They have right side, left side wall, all are fish. Okay, all aquarium they built around the whole thing, and they had a waterfall in between the seats. Okay, the seats were made as if it was on a beach. If you are on a Mumbai beach or something like that. So what they did, they spent a lot of money to an interior. Okay, and that fund was no, the money came from Dubai because one of his brother was working there, and he used to send it. For 4, 5 months, 6 months, he started sending, and they started building. They spent almost lavishly 25 to 30 lakhs rupees on interior itself, and then all the utilities required for a restaurant. Okay, and the restaurant started picking up. They started. Taking orders from different like Brigade Millennium and nearby bigger apartments are there, like 300, 500 apartments are there. So they started getting orders, okay, and the home delivery, people are coming and having the food. But at a later stage, there was some challenge with the brother who was there in Dubai. He couldn't send money, okay, and he stopped sending money for 2, 3 months, okay. And here, what happened in the restaurant? They started having a cash crunch. They couldn't manage the business because they had to pay the salary to the chef, and they have to pay the salary for all the waiters. They have to pay rent. They have to pay a lot of other stuff. Okay, so they were getting into the crunch. So what happens between 6 to 7 months, the whole multi-cuisine restaurant was closed. And whatever the aquarium they built, whatever the equipment they had, they sold it for just 2 lakhs rupees. Okay. And it was a huge blow for any entrepreneur. So that's the reason why I talked about finance management is a very critical aspect. You need to have a saving or a cash flow at least for next 6 months to 1 year in hand. Okay, so even for startup, I always recommend if you want to quit a job and start your own business, you should have at least 1 year cash flow in bank. Then you quit the job. Otherwise, don't quit. So next comes is people management, because any business runs on people management, and 50% I can say at least, okay, because we have operation team, we have sales and marketing team, we have accounting team, we have a lot of management level, so supervisors. So most of them are people. Now, this is important aspect to manage people, okay? How we can identify the right people and give them the support so that they take it to the next level. They come in front and lead the organization. So people management is also a skill which can be developed over a period of time. So I know any business requires this all competence required to grow, succeed in a business in a faster way. Next comes is sales and marketing. Now, if I talk about this is actually the backbone of any business. If you want to grow a business, if you are not good at sales and marketing, then it is such very challenging for you to survive in the market. So first thing is, even as a sales and marketing, what I recommend is, if you have done 3 years, I used to go to like, door to door, I used to go to all the manufacturing industry, visit them, or I used to direct visit or making an appointment and visit. So what happens if I go along with my employee who is a sales and marketing guy, I understand how he talks about, what he talks about the company, how he pictures. So if you're aware about whether the message, what you want to convey is conveyed in the right way. Okay, so if you are good at sales and marketing, it's easy for you to bring in sales because it's easy to mentor a person. Because if you're an expert, it's easy to mentor a person and bring more business. So sales and marketing also a competent skill which is required at any given point of time for any business to succeed. So if in case wherever you feel where you need to add, you can add those so that you can grow faster, and also maybe you go meet the clients, okay, understand their requirements, keep in touch with them. So sales and marketing is one important aspect for any business. Even if you launch a new product, or even if you launch a new company, okay, the same client can give you a business if you build a relationship. That is the really important of the sales and marketing. Now let's come to the consistency. What is required is target. Now, we always fix the target, okay, say April month we starts, okay, saying, okay, this year my plan is to have 10 crore turnover, 100 crore turnover, whatever the target may be. And then we start looking at it. Okay, well, first month, okay, the target we are not reached. Second month we are not reached. 6 months we are not reached. And then what we stop doing is keeping the target itself. Okay, but what I want you to do is keep a target which is available, which is achievable and measurable. So if you put in a smart format, okay, and keep a target maybe for next 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, and then break it down to a quarterly basis, then you break it down to monthly basis, weekly basis, and daily basis. If you feel like first 2 3 months, how you're going, what's the gap to be filled? So you're giving that, and when you look at next 6 months, if you're not able to even reach 20-30% of your target, then you need to identify what is the gap. Why the target that you set is why not we are able to achieve. So if we are able to identify that gap, it is easy for us to reach the target, maybe not the first year, maybe the second year also, or more than that, whatever we have put the target. So target is always should be measurable, okay? And every action we have to keep measuring. How much are we reaching? It can be, target can be from the revenue perspective, from the profit perspective, from the business perspective. So different target can be set based on the organization to organization. Next is we talk about focus. Now, when we say about the focus, we normally feel like, okay, we need to keep a focus in our business, right? And normally we keep, it's a human tendency, okay, we keep seeing what others are doing. We our keep tendency is, okay, how other businesses are working. So our focus, what happens is it get diluted over a period of time. And then our business goes into a next, instead of the growth, we go into either less growth or even minus also some cases. So once what I suggest is to have a focus and where you want to reach. Okay, keep target and the focus in straight line. Okay, so I want to only grow this business. I want to grow this particular vertical of my business. Now, when you have a particular focus, what happens is you start growing. Now, let me give an example. If you want to buy a mobile, or not mobile, you can say car itself. Now, you want to buy a car which is a red color, okay, and then you say, I want to buy a Skoda car or a Mercedes. Now, when you start thinking about a particular color of a car and a particular model of a car, okay, when you go on the roadside, you start seeing the same model and same color coming in front of you, right? So this is how the brain or the psychology works. So when you start focusing on your business to grow, where you want to grow, automatically your answers would come and align with your growth. First comes is creativity. Now, when I say creativity, it is not that creativity comes from the scratch, okay? Creativity is whatever you are doing, how can you bring in some twist? How can you create it more innovative way? Either innovative can be how you do the sales, or how you do the production, how you can improve your packaging. Various things can come under creativity as well. Now, as in this pandemic is, you have a time to look at how your competitors are doing, how other international market companies are doing. Maybe you can adopt some of the things, or maybe you can tweak in terms of packaging, positioning, branding, anything that you feel could be a great market for your product or service. Okay, so this is important part for anyone to, even sometimes you feel that, okay, I have a one of my client who does a what do you say, big canopies, okay, and then he identified, he used to supply almost around 8 to 10 countries, and then he identified why not to create a window, okay, a window which is with has a lot of blinds in it, and these are two glass and in between is a blind, okay, and then they started selling to hotel industry. Now, most of the villas, most of the apartments, okay, he is able to sell it. Okay, so what is happening is he brought in a product, okay, which is at a lower cost, because canopies were at a high budget, okay, like 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 50 lakh kind of budgets. And when we started bringing the window, ready-made window, which cost, it's very low cost. So when they started entering to apartments and villas and hotels, automatically the canopy business also grown. So likewise, you can bring in some product which can fulfill in terms of the entry point for your business. Okay. Next is commitment. Now, when we say commitment, there are different levels of commitment required. Okay. Now, when we are focused or committed to a business, we only commit to business. We don't give time to our family. We don't give time to the society. Okay, and also commitment is we take a lot of tasks at a time, and what happens is we don't justify in terms of the productivity efficiency in our life. So what I suggest is we commit on a particular either no, when I say goal setting, also same part can come here. Saying okay, I will commit this okay 1 hour of exercise. Okay, 1 hour for a particular meditation, and then 2 hours family time, 6 hours for my business, then 2 hours for society. So if you have a great plan, then achievement will be great. And also commitment is what I talk about is don't have too many commitments which you are not able to fulfill. So if no, you can say no to them. Our main is what focus, what you want to grow. Whether you want to grow business, then you have more commitment towards that. That's what I would say. And don't get distracted over it. So that's the only point about the commitment part. Next comes is culture. Okay. So what I mean by culture is how you culture is one of the important aspects for any business is to how your environment is. Okay. Now most of this culture comes in corporate world. Okay. But when it comes to SMEs, MSMEs, small businesses, we don't. We have those culture model, okay. We don't think that okay, this is my family, employees are a part of my family, okay. But sometimes we need to create a culture wherein everyone can involve, okay. So culture building can be like okay, celebration of the birthday of an employee, or maybe a celebration of anniversaries. We will give something. Maybe I know because of Deepavali, you always used to give them the sweets and gifts and bonus and all. But even along with that, other culture if we can bring up that can give a good bonding for the employees to be in the organization. Second thing is the culture can also be built by having a weekly meeting, asking them the new ideas, new way of how the business can be grown. If you can invite them to come and share, because they will also have been in the organization for many years, many months. Okay, they can also have different perspective which they can share with you. You might use it or not; it is up to you. But the culture can be an open culture which can help in terms of the business to grow faster. So that is the important aspect for a culture to be there. Now let's look at the future. What can be done as we talk about the future is digitalization. Now, how many of you are already into using like accounting software, CRMs and all? Many of you? If not, this is one of the important aspects is to digitalize. Now, if you see a lot of automations are happening, now robotics are there for manufacturing industries. Okay, automation in terms of packaging is happening. CRM automated mails go to the client, thanking for them to be associated with them. So likewise, a lot of automation can be done. Digitalization has to be done in the business, whether it's a small business, a big business. I recommend everyone to go digitalize this important part because whenever a client send, no, when you send a proposal to a client or when you meet a client, automatically if you can add into your CRM and automated mails goes, thank you, we met on this date and we look forward for more business in future. So automated mail goes. So the client will have saying that, okay, I'm already being connected with the organization. So same way, if you are not using CRM, that is customer relationship management software, you need to use. So a lot of things can be automated now. So I would recommend that to go for digitalization, even if you require ERP for manufacturing industry, yes, because that will save you from the loss of waste of production, process time, all those stuff. So a lot of things are there. Okay. Next comes is collaboration. Now, when we talk about collaborate, we have always a challenge, right? Saying, okay, if I collaborate with someone, he might start the same business, or he might take my ideas away, okay, something else. So always we have a fear of collaborating with each other. So I recommend is to collaborate in such a way that you can grow faster. Okay, it can be complementary and complementing is important aspect. So how you can collaborate? Maybe using the manufacturing industries. I can talk about Toyota and maybe Maruti Suzuki. Now they are using each other's plant to manufacture their own brand product. So what is happening is they are saving on the cost of infrastructure. So same way you can look at how you can collaborate in terms of product sales, everything. Okay. Next comes is legacy. So you can build a business which can be a legacy of generation to generation to come. Now, say I can talk about Tata's, how they have created the legacy of the business. Then Reliance, TVS Motors, like that, there are so many examples we can give. So same thing, you can look at how you can create a legacy. Generation to come, the same business can grow at a faster level and reach out to maximum. Next comes is investment. When I talk about investment, it is not investment in your stock market or mutual fund. You can do so, but I'm talking about investment where you can invest in startups. Okay, which can complement your product or service. If you start investing in that, you can collaborate with them, and the same client can buy your product or their product as well. But you get benefited because you have invested in their business. So this can be one of the important aspects. So invest in the complementary business, which can grow your business at a faster level. So this is one of the aspects. Second thing is, yes, you can invest in the stock market. You can invest in mutual funds, invest in other properties, but also look at how you can invest in a business which can grow faster. Okay. Next comes is leadership. So leadership is one of the important aspect of any business. Okay, and to grow a business or to make a exponential growth, you need to create a second line of leaders. Okay, now we know because normally what we do is we have brother, sister, cousin, we invite them to our business, and they manage business when we are we are not there, right? But still, I would recommend us you can go beyond that, create a secondary leadership, okay, where they can expand your business. Even if you talk about Reliance, okay. Now, how many family members are running the Reliance? How many branches they have across India, across globe, okay? So you can think in that angle itself, that leadership is created, okay? Leadership is been built to expand the business. So here you have this opportunity for you to create, whether you're a small business or a big business, it doesn't make differences. What is required is leadership. You are mentoring, coaching them, okay, hand holding them. See, example, we see like when we hire a sales and marketing person, we think, okay, within 3 months, 6 months, he has to bring the business. But normally we don't know, like, at least we need to handle it. Okay, any person who joins, if example, I'm giving you sales and marketing, if we first train him like how we do sales and marketing, we go with the client, give a demo, and then second time is we do both of us how we pitch, and third time is he do the sales and marketing part. We watch how it works. So it takes time. It's not easy. It doesn't happen 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Sometimes it takes 1 year, 2 years also to build a secondary leader. So I recommend is to spend time because you have experience. You are the owner. You have the experience. You have gone through all the ups and downs. You have gone through all the rejections. You have gone through all the challenges. So what happens is you are the leader actually, where you can create another leader. So that is what I would invite you to create the leaderships around the world. So with this, I will end my session. And if you have any questions, you can ask right now. Lalinji, do you have any questions from the Facebook or from the group?
बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस तो हैं, लेकिन टाइम बहुत हो चुका है।
Okay.
एक्चुअली 7:30 तक का सेशन था। 8:30 बज गए, कोई बात नहीं। अच्छी 8:15 बज रहे हैं, सॉरी 8:10। अच्छी चीजों के लिए कुछ छोड़ना भी पड़ता है समय के लिए। जी, बहुत अच्छा सेशन रहा आपका।
Okay. एक लास्ट स्लाइड बता देता हूँ. In life, never spend more than 10% of your time on problem. Spend at least 90% of your time on the solution. This is what always remember. This is the one line which can give you the answer for any business. Don't focus on the problem. What is the problem right now? Is pandemic. Now look at how can you create a solution for that. If you focus on 90% of your time, then you will be succeeded very soon. Okay. And this is about myself, Kushal Jain. I thank you, IVF Karnataka and the Bangalore chapter for giving the opportunity. So I really want to thank from bottom of my heart. And in case if you have still queries, you can follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and we can get connected. So thank you. I will hand it over to Laliji. Over to you.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। शायद विपिन जी हमारे बीच में हैं। विपिन जी हमारे कर्नाटक स्टेट प्रेसिडेंट नहीं, शायद नहीं।
ललित जी
जी, और किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन है तो हाँ सर बताइए।
जी ने लास्ट में सब बोल दिया कि 90% टाइम जो है अपनी लाइफ की सॉल्यूशन में निकाली है, इसमें सब आ गया। बहुत बढ़िया सर, बहुत बढ़िया। और आप कहते हैं गोल और सुधांशु जी कहते हैं हेल्थ। मैच बढ़ना पड़ेगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
कॉम्बिनेशन बहुत अच्छा है सर दोनों का, हेल्थ एंड बिजनेस कॉम्बिनेशन से।
राइट
जी, इस बात पे 4 लाइनें बहुत अच्छी याद आ रही है। इस कोरोना पीरियड में काल अत्यंत गंभीर है, काल अत्यंत ही गंभीर है, जीना हुआ मुहाल है, डर डर के जीना पड़ रहा है, डर डर के जीना पड़ रहा है, हर किसी का ये हाल है। अपनों से मिलना मुश्किल है, इस बात का मलाल है, लेकिन डर के आगे जीत है, लेकिन डर के आगे जीत है, ये बात भी बेमिसाल है। आज के इस सेशन का हमारे बाबू भाई मेहता का बहुत इच्छा था कि ऑफलाइन सेशन रखें कहीं पे ऑडिटोरियम में, हॉल में, लेकिन परिस्थिति अनुसार हो नहीं पाया, इसलिए हमने ऑनलाइन सेशन रखा है। हमारे महासचिव महोदय प्रशांत जी सिंघवी का भी बहुत इच्छा थी कि ऑफलाइन सेशन रखा जाए, लेकिन पीरियड के अनुसार, परिस्थिति के अनुसार आज हमने ऑफलाइन सेशन रखा है। आप सभी का बहुत बहुत आभार। अब मैं आमंत्रित करूंगा हमारे बेंगलोर IVF इंटरनेशनल वेस्ट फेडरेशन के महासचिव महामंत्री महोदय श्री प्रशांत जी सिंघवी से पधारे हुए सभी सदस्यों का धन्यवाद, आभार व्यक्त करें। प्रशांत जी सिंघवी।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद ललित जी। सबसे पहले मैं आपका धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगा कि इतने कम समय में इतना सुंदर आयोजन आपने किया और बिजनेस और हेल्थ को पिरोने का काम किया आज की इस महामारी के दौर में। और आप सब उपस्थित जनों से क्षमा प्रार्थी हूँ कि समय कम रहते हुए भी ललित जी ने प्रयास अच्छा किया। हालांकि दोनों वक्ताओं को सुनने का और मन कर रहा था, समय को देखते हुए हमें यही विराम देना पड़ेगा। औपचारिक तौर पर आई थैंक सुधांशु जी गोस्वामी जी एंड कुशाल जी जैन फॉर rebooting, for recharging the hidden zeal and confidence within ourselves in the field of business and health. I take this opportunity to thank each and every member present here and hope to see you soon with new topics, with more practical explanations and examples. Thank you one and all.
थैंक यू सर। लास्ट जाते जाते एक बात कहना चाहूंगा, इस मुरावत वक्त के बाद फिर नया दौर आएगा। एक आशा है सभी को, एक विश्वास है, इस मुरावत वक्त के बाद फिर नया दौर आएगा जब हम फिर से मिलेंगे, पर तब तक दूर ही सही, पर दिल से हम साथ हैं, पर तब तक हम दूर ही सही, पर दिल से हम साथ हैं। आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आभार। इस सेशन को हम यहीं पे समाप्त करेंगे। जी हाँ, सॉरी, एक हमारे व्यूअर का क्वेश्चन है। जी जी सर बताइए, आपका माइक अनम्यूट कीजिए। गैलेक्सी M30, आपका माइक अनम्यूट कीजिए सर। आप कुछ बोलना चाह रहे हैं लेकिन माइक म्यूट है आपका, माइक अनम्यूट कीजिए सर। हाँ बताइए। जी बोलिए सर।
बोलिए बोलिए, क्या बोलिए सर, बोलिए सर।
आप कुछ बोलना चाह रहे थे?
नहीं 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 सर।
ओके ओके, थैंक यू सो मच सर, थैंक यू थैंक यू थैंक यू।
ललित जी मैं पूछ सकता हूँ?
जी जी मनीष जी, जरूर जरूर मनीष जी जरूर।
This is for Kushal ji. Like we are facing a different kind of situation wherein this because of COVID, of course, business and all like it is less, and but still there are some clients who are trying to encash this, like encash in the sense they know that we have less business or because of situation customers are not coming and things like that. But how to handle these kind of customers? Or if you feel that it's a lengthy answer, we can take it offline also.
Okay, it's not about taking offline. So what do you mean by client taking advantage? So I know business is low, so advantage can be taking more credit period, can be one of the advantage, or maybe ordering more product. Okay, instead of making a payment, they will ask for more product. Okay, that also may be one of the aspect where client says, okay, now if you supply now because we have pandemic, don't have a cash to pay you or make. We can maybe only can give you posted a check also. That also maybe I know these are all challenges happens in this pandemic. So but what I suggest is you need to follow your rules. Okay, because you are the business owner. Okay, you are the manufacturer, you are the trader, you are the distributor. So you need to have your own rules. Whatever it happens, whether it's a pandemic or not. Okay, if you follow your rules, you will succeed fast. Otherwise, the challenge is okay because I have gone through my own challenges this way. I have faced it. I'm talking about what 1999, 2000. When the market crash was there, and I was into a garment manufacturing, and I was supplying across the different states, and we had clients from Tamil Nadu and Kerala. They used to make the payment like 3 months, 6 months, but after it happened on to on. So we have to wait for a year to get the payment for the next what we need supply, but we have to supply. If we don't supply, we don't get the payment for the last year also. That's what the challenge. Okay. So, but slowly we came out from all those stuffs, and then we put our rules saying, okay, no, if you make the payment in 3 months, then we are going to supply. If not, thank you very much. You have more clients to handle, and also cash discount. Okay, so we can use cash discount as one of the option. Maybe you can explore. That's what I'm saying. Don't get stuck with the demography of the market. How you can explore outside that, because we get stuck. Okay, हमारे पास इतने ही client हैं, हम लोग इतने ही manage कर पाएंगे, उससे ज़्यादा नहीं कर पाएंगे. वसूली के लिए कौन जाएगा, माल देने के लिए कौन जाएगा, सप्लाई कौन करेगा, ऑर्डर कौन लाएगा. So we have our own notions, right? So how we can go beyond that? How can we do that? So that is the reason now it's the right time for you to think. Okay, you will get all this tantrum from the existing clients. Okay, see, it is required to support. There is some time, I can say, extent to support. You can't get beyond that. Okay, say example, you have a credit limit of 100 crore outside. Okay, you can pour in more 5 lakh, 5 crore, 10 crore. Okay, but you can't put 100 crore, another 100 crore as a credit in the market, because who's going to pay the interest? Who's going to bear the loss in case that person or that company get vanished from the market? Okay, so these all challenges are there in this pandemic, right? And if there are people who take the advantage saying that, okay, due to pandemic, I'm closing down my business, I don't have money to pay. Okay, there are challenges. Okay, so that you have to deal with. Okay, I know, because each industry is different. Garment business is different, pharma industry is different, manufacturing industry is different, any industry, even jewelry industry, now it is on credit. Okay, silver jewelry is on credit, gold jewelry is on credit. Okay, so everything I talk about, most of the business are, even you get the container from China. Okay, that is also on credit. So if I talk about it all, each business is unique, I'm saying. Okay, so we have to identify what is our terms. Okay, and we need to dictate your terms. Sometimes it may be tough to manage and to handle and share with the client, but it is okay. Rather than taking more risk, rather than taking more maximum risk, okay, I would say take minimum risk.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your
Thank you.
थैंक यू सर. जितना अच्छा क्वेश्चन था उतना ही अच्छा उसका रिप्लाई था. जी, हमारे साथ में डॉक्टर निधि वर्मा जी, वो भी कुछ पूछना चाह रहे हैं बहुत ही शॉर्ट में. निधि वर्मा जी.
Actually, unfortunately, I logged in very late. I saw the message very late because I have been on ground level working with COVID patients.
Yeah.
So I am definitely interested to know more about the topic. I'll get in touch with Kushal ji. उनके ही message से मुझे पता चला. And I have definitely missed, but I'll try and see the recording if I can get. Like, I would love to know what discussions have happened today. So I just wanted to make a point of that.
Yeah, we will send a link of that recording. Sure.
Thank you so much. Yes. Yes.
Anything else from?
Thank you so much. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, all of you. So, अब हम इस प्रोग्राम को यहीं पे खत्म करना चाहेंगे. और
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
अगली बार कुछ अच्छे टॉपिक पे हम वापस IVF बेंगलोर चैप्टर के साथ में आना चाहिए. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. थैंक यू.
धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद.
Thank you. Thank you.